Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and sizes, I am back and we are here because tonight we got some pretty exciting stuff regarding the August update for Marvel Future Fight. And we are only 2 days away from the mid-month patch, which will be releasing this brand new $30.99 War Machine uniform. And this one I know many of you, like myself, have been impatiently waiting for because it looks like it's going to do a lot for him, a lot more than any of his previous uniforms. And that's saying a lot because War Machine has gotten quite a few uniforms, but this one looks like it's gonna take him to the next level. I'm hoping that it pushes him to the level of a Falcon or a Human Torch. It would be nice. It's a shame he's in the Blast category, and Blast is like overpopulated with really strong characters, but nonetheless, it would be nice to get him as a free-to-play character, just being really powerful. I know some of you guys out there, him being an 800 CCF cost character would make you very happy. And honestly, I'm a big time fan of War Machine, so it would make me very happy as well. However, it's crazy to think that there is something that's going to steal the spotlight from this War Machine uniform, considering how cool the animations are and the sick buffs that he's getting. But it is what it is, because this is actually pretty lit. About a week ago, there were data mines out there regarding the fact that we could be seeing a LOKI mid-month patch. And I was thinking to myself, nah, maybe they'll do that next month. However, next month would be September. And September, ladies and gentlemen, is Shang-Chi month, right? Shang-Chi is supposed to be coming out in September. So if that's the case, it makes sense. It stands to reason why the LOKI update is coming now. However, that is really fast considering the show just ended. This is way faster than the release that they did for Scarlet Witch when WandaVision dropped. So crazy. We could literally see uniforms as soon as these Disney Plus TV shows wrap up. Either way, I'm happy for it. However, I know some of you guys probably not too happy about it because you may have just bought the newest LOKI uniform, which is actually still a really good uniform. So I'm kind of curious what is going to happen for this version of LOKI, right? However, let us take a look at the trailer and take a look at some of what they have to say here, because it looks like we could be seeing not one, but two different uniforms for LOKI. And even that might not make people happy because there are so many different versions of LOKI in the show, and the one you like may actually not be the one that we get a uniform of. So it might be crazy where we get like two uniforms and people still like saying, yo, I wanted the other one. This trailer is actually really cool because it's just like the show. It's actually crazy. If you haven't seen the show, go watch it. It will only take you like maybe 5 or 6 hours to watch all of it. There's only 6 episodes. I'm pretty sure they're going to do a season 2 the way how things ended. Either way, as you can see right here, we have two different versions of LOKI being shown, or at least two different looks for him. This is the main LOKI that we are familiar with, the LOKI that died in Infinity War. And then the other LOKI that you see here is a variant of LOKI from another timeline, which honestly, I'm surprised that this is the look that they took for LOKI that they wanted to add, but I really like the badge, LOKI for president. Like it's pretty cool, right? However, I know many of you guys would have liked to see maybe old man LOKI or kid LOKI. Kid LOKI is actually pretty popular, or maybe Sylvie, aka female LOKI. So I feel as though many people might actually not be too happy with the fact that these are the two versions of LOKI, or these are the two looks that LOKI might be getting. I'm not too sure, right? We could literally get more than two uniforms, but then really, would you guys want 4 or 5 different versions of LOKI? And if there are 4 or 5 different versions, are there just going to be visual changes and the skills just be exactly the same? And if that's the case, that's gonna be pretty crazy because the collector in me will want all the uniforms. But man, imagine buying 4 or 5 different uniforms for LOKI where they all do the exact same thing, but they're just a different look. It's crazy. They'll obviously will be synergy uniforms if they're releasing multiple uniforms for the same character at the same time. I'm assuming, right? We've never seen them do multiple uniforms at the exact same time and not make it a synergy uniform, right? Ever since they did the whole synergy thing. So yeah, more than likely there will be a synergy bonus if they do 2 or more, but I think I would cap it at 2. And if these are the 2 that they chose, it is what it is. Maybe Sylvie will be her own character. By the way, for you guys who don't know, let me just show you guys what I'm talking about, okay? So this version of Loki, right, the female Loki, she's actually a major player in the show. I'm not gonna spoil it for you, but she's potentially the most dangerous version of Loki. Like, she's pretty badass. I know some of you guys might not like the fact that the best version of Loki in the show like was kind of the female Loki, because everybody liked male Loki, but it is what it is. Loki is Loki. We know Loki's a shapeshifter. Loki can be anyone or anything at any time, right? So I don't really care how Loki looks, but it is kind of like sus. And the fact that Loki kind of fell in love with himself is just kind of funny to me, because that's something you would expect from Loki, right? Like, he's so like self-centered. Like, he literally meets another version of himself and falls in love with himself. Like, okay, who loves Loki more than Loki? No one, apparently, right? It's pretty crazy. So yeah, it would have been cool to see this version of Loki with the broken horn in the game. Maybe this could come in as her own character. We'll see. I doubt it, because then well, actually no, I was gonna say, then what would they do for like a uniform in the future? But if there's gonna be season 2, right, for the Loki show, maybe season 2 will present us with an opportunity to get a uniform for female Loki from the show, right? So I don't know, Sylvie could be your own character, or we could just not get this uniform at all. It would be a bummer, right? But we do already have basically this version of Loki in the game as female Loki, right? It's literally the exact same one. This is just the MCU or the Marvel Studios version, right? So we don't necessarily need to get Sylvie in the game, but it would be pretty cool to see it. There's also this version of Loki. This version of Loki didn't really do anything cool. I guess he just came, showed up, started a fight, and then our main Loki just kind of dipped to go do what he needed to do to reset the timeline and whatnot. You know, I'm not trying to ruin the whole show for you if you haven't seen it yet, right? So kind of interesting that they chose this look, but at the end of the day, it looks like main Loki anyways, so just putting him in this suit with this look, it's okay, right? And there's also, I kind of really liked Kid Loki. You know what I'm saying? It looked kind of goofy, I ain't even gonna lie, but I kind of like Kid Loki, right? And I feel like a lot of people like Kid Loki as well. There was also like Black Loki. I kind of dig Old Man Loki, not even gonna lie, bro. Old Man Loki was actually kind of lit. And unlike this version of Loki who just kind of showed up and was like a waste man, right? This Old Man Loki actually put in work towards the end. And in order to complete what they needed to complete, I'm trying not to give you guys spoilers for those of you guys who didn't watch the show yet, right? Without him, they wouldn't have actually did what they needed to do. So not gonna lie, this version of Loki, it would have been nice to see him, but hey, maybe he wasn't that popular. I don't know, right? Either way, it's still gonna be interesting to see how they decide to buff Loki this time around, because his last uniform was actually pretty solid. The only thing he didn't really get was like accumulation in terms of like meta effects for PvE. So should be interesting to see what they do. Now here for the message, they said authorities have caught a Loki variant threatening to overthrow the timeline. He seems to be cooperating for now. However, sources say that they're seeking another Loki. This is female Loki, FYI, right? With nefarious intentions. And down here, what did they say? Agents, keep a lookout for variants inspired by Marvel Studios. Loki coming soon. So they say variants, right? So I'm assuming we're gonna see at least 2 uniforms. I'm thinking it's the 2 from the trailer. But the fact that they mentioned female Loki, I'm thinking maybe we're gonna get 3 uniforms. And if they do that, that might be pushing the boundaries. I feel like if you're free to play, you're gonna be in a situation where you want all of them, but you shouldn't buy all of them. That's just what it is, because buying 3 uniforms where they're all the same, they have the same effects, if that's the case, it's kind of stupid, especially considering they haven't increased the amount of crystals that you can earn in the game for the past like what 2 to 3 years. expecting players to come up with 3,000 plus crystals to buy 3 different uniforms for Loki would be kind of absurd. But then again, at the same time, if they're just changes to the character's physical appearance and all the skill effects will be shared across the uniforms, it doesn't matter if he gets 10 different uniforms. Only people who would like be upset about that are the whales, the collectors really, that would want to have every uniform in the game. And if you want to have everything in the game, even though you don't need to have it, then that's on you and you got to come with the bag. If you're free to play, you should just basically be picking up the one that looks the most appealing to you if all the skill and effects are shared across the different uniforms, especially considering the fact that this version of Loki is actually still pretty good. People still to this day use it for ABX if they don't have Null or Supergiant or Proxima or whatnot. So Loki is still pretty usable. And on top of that, you can use Loki for like dispatch, if you will. He's one of the best dispatch characters. I still use him, right? He has chain hit on his uniform bonus, which is pretty good. It will be interesting to see if they actually increase this chain hit to maybe 15-20%. That would be pretty dope. He doesn't have damage accumulation, and he doesn't have extra damage to supervillains, so that's kind of holding him back. Maybe if we see those things added to his kit, or maybe extra crit damage, or maybe give him some more all attack. He does have an all attack buff here on his 5th skill. Actually, I think it's on his 4th skill, right? 50%. Yeah, so he does have some nice buffs in his kit. His 4-star passive is actually still pretty good. Maybe they could bump this up to, I don't know, 60%. I don't know. Either way, personally, I don't think Loki was in a spot where he desperately needed a new uniform, so it'll be interesting to see how they market a new one, if it's just like a visual change and then 5% added on top. Because if that's the case, realistically, I don't think that's going to be enough to make Loki meta for World Boss Legend. Because frankly, I think right now, sure, he might be okay, but I don't think he's top tier. But granted, I haven't used Loki in a while for World Boss Legend. I definitely haven't used Loki in World Boss Legend since I got 25% Pierce on my cards. I think the last time I used Loki in World Boss Legend was before Mephisto got added. Yeah, I think that's when he just got his tier 3, and that was before I had any Pierce. My cards have improved substantially since then, but since Loki's the character that you use with Rage, and we all know Rage is kind of falling off, it will be interesting to see if Loki can still do work with this uniform, because I kind of want to do a comparison with it now in anticipation for the new uniform that he's going to be getting. So I might put out a video showcasing him against Null and Mephisto. If that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comment section, because I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to buff him, and if they're just going to basically sell 2, 3, 4 different uniforms for Loki that are only like 5% better than this one. Because if that's the case and you're free to play, as sad as it may be for you, then it would be an easy skip. I'm just gonna tell you just like that, because 5% more, Loki's still just gonna be used for the same thing he's already used for, which is pretty much just dispatch and ABX if you don't have the top tier options like Supergiant, Proxima, Null, etc. Right, just my 2 cents, but we'll have to wait and see. They could give him something game-changing, meta-defining. We could see a PvP Loki, or we could see a Loki that is good for PvP again. Because remember, at one point, Loki Silk Hulkbuster was actually a PvP team. And Hulkbuster is kind of big now. He's kind of big, rocking over 100k HP. Silk is actually kind of sexy now. So if Loki gets something spicy, I would actually not mind recreating that team. Hulkbuster, Silk, and Loki for PvP? Hey man, the old days. Hey, I'm gonna wrap it up here. Thank you guys so much for watching. All of you future fight old heads in the comments, let me know, man. Are you here for a Silk, Loki, Hulkbuster meta once again? Or are you just like, you know what? Let those days stay in the back of my mind, in my memories, and let them be golden. Catch you guys. Peace.